Hello everyone, welcome to Nib Pickin'. My name is Steven, and today's video I am going to be creating these postcards which feature a character that I designed, and I'm going to be talking about something a little bit personal. So I hope you enjoy this kind of different format from videos I've done in the past, and if you really like my postcards, stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how you could get one of them mailed to you. For today's video, I'm going to be drawing with my Pilot Kakuno in extra fine. It has a Pilot Con 70 converter, and this is 3 Oysters Sea of Notions ink. It's normally diluted, but I'm going to try using it without the dilution just to see what kind of color that would give me. I expect it'll be somewhat of a blue-black color, which should look really nice with my subject matter. So I depress this into the ink bottle and pushing the button, you can see the ink rising up into it. The things about the Con 70 that I find a criticism is that it's very hard to get a complete fill with this converter. It always seems like I can get about 50%. That's pretty much it. All right, so to wipe this down, let's get to the drawing. So about 10 years ago, I was in this meeting, and there was another person at the meeting, a friend of mine who was an artist, and she could tell, and it was true, that I wasn't doing good, like I was in a bad mood. So she asked me, "How are you doing?" And I couldn't put that feeling that I had into words. So instead, I grabbed a piece of paper and I drew this thing. It was this abstract kind of thing. It wasn't, it didn't have any form or any kind of shape to it, but it just made sense to me. And I showed it to her, and I think it made sense to her as well. And since then, I've always kind of felt like I draw what I feel. It's a lot easier for me to explain what I'm going through pictures rather than with words, and in some ways, the pictures do a better job of it. And so that's one of my main attractions to art, where I keep coming back to it. Even though, you know, I'm an adult, it's not my job, I'm not particularly ever going to be famous for it, but it heals me. And so for that reason, I'm always drawing and creating things. And I created this astronaut to talk about what I'm going through here and now in this quarantine, in lockdown, in times of COVID. This idea of there being too much space, being out in that cold, kind of empty vacuum, and feeling so far away from everything. I think that's how I've felt for a good part of this last year, and maybe you guys can relate to that. But I'm also talking about depression, something that I've dealt with for a good part of my life. And it's more than just feeling sad, if you know what I mean. It's more than just that idea that things feel hopeless. There's a lot of side effects to being depressed or to having depression from time to time. there's this feeling of exhaustion. There's this lack of motivation, being constantly tired or not being able to accomplish anything all day, sometimes just staring off instead of getting work done. For me, for someone who's an artist who doesn't do this as their job, I have another job that I do throughout the day, that's a pretty tough thing to deal with. So in having to deal with it, I've had to come up with strategies to keep myself from falling too deep into it. Maybe some of these strategies will work for you. But I will say this, if you relate strongly to this character who's off alone in space today, or if some of the stuff I say about depression rings true for you, I want you to not be afraid to reach out and get help in some way, right? Your life is worth the effort of others. And in my case, what helps me is finding that there's a kind of purpose to my pain, and that I can create things that people make a connection to. And maybe by creating things that reflect my own loneliness, which I don't understand myself in a lot of ways, I can actually help others feel less lonely. So, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well, but I'm not afraid to hear if you're not. I've discovered that connecting and talking to people and being honest about where you're at is one of the healthiest habits that I've learned as an adult. I've also learned that I have ways of explaining things that are helpful to people. And so I try to use that as my purpose. One of the ways that I fight against this feeling of hopelessness that I sometimes succumb to. I have a way of explaining things that somebody out there in the world needs. And I think probably you do too. So if that's any kind of a hope to you to keep persevering, especially to keep creating, if you're a creator, you have something that someone in the world needs, and I don't know who that person is. Maybe it's me, in which case, can I see your art? I hope I see you creating. That's what gives me a little bit of purpose, and hopefully it's been purposeful and meaningful for you. So that's how I deal with my depression, with my anxiety, is I create what I feel. And art helps me separate my feelings from the reality. Sometimes I feel like I'm this astronaut off alone in space with nothing and nobody beside me, but really that's not true. I have this whole network of people, my personal relationships, my family, and I even have this cool little family that I've made on YouTube, and we're celebrating a big milestone with this video. Crossing the 300 subscriber mark and getting to know all of you people has been great. So that is just what I wanted to say. And I wanted to say thank you for giving me your ear to let me talk to you about this stuff, and I hope you're doing well. All right, so that was so much fun. Thank you guys for sticking around, for watching this video, for listening to me. I've gotten great satisfaction from building this channel over the last several months that I've been building it. If you're a subscriber to this channel, I'd like to offer you the chance to have one of these postcards mailed to you, the ones that I created during the video. All you need to do is be a subscriber, comment below, tell me how you're doing. It could be in one word, it could be just a sentence, or you could share a whole story about some stuff that's going on in your life, just as I did in the video. I'd love to hear from you either way. Thank you so much for all the support that I've gotten over the last couple of months. Within 1 week of the posting of this video, I will choose a random comment to receive, or 3 random comments to receive the postcards, and I'll be mailing them off. I do mail internationally, and if you've received something in the mail from before, that does not disqualify you from entering now in any way. I love my longtime supporters and my brand new ones as well. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much, and I will see you again soon.